Welcome back to my channel. Today we explore the value of specific coins, the top 5 Washington silver quarter dollar coins, value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1983 Washington silver quarter dollar with the P mint mark. This coin is especially interesting because of its potential value, even in normal circulated condition. First, let's be clear, 1983 Washington quarters were not minted in silver for circulation. They were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. So if you come across a 1983 quarter and it looks silver, it's most likely just a standard coin with some discoloration or wear. That said, there are rare exceptions where mint errors or off-metal strikes can give the appearance of silver or result in different weight characteristics. The P mint mark indicates that the coin was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1983, no mint sets were issued by the U.S. Mint, which means collectors couldn't get pristine examples directly from the mint. As a result, high-grade 1983 quarters, especially those from circulation that remain in excellent condition, are significantly harder to find compared to other years. In average circulated condition, a 1983 P quarter typically holds only its face value of 25 cents. However, if your coin is in better than average shape, especially if it's in mint state or close to uncirculated, it can fetch a premium on the collector's market. For example, quarters graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services can sell for between $20 and $40. The real jump in value happens when you move into MS67 territory. At that grade, a 1983 P quarter might be worth $150 or more, depending on the market and the demand at the time. Coins with full strike details, few contact marks, and strong luster tend to command the highest prices. Some extremely high-grade examples have even sold for over $500 at auction, but those are quite rare. Again, condition is everything when it comes to modern clad coinage. Coins that are clean, well-struck, and have not been damaged or cleaned improperly have the best chance of achieving these higher price points. It's also worth noting that there are some known varieties and errors for this coin, such as doubling on the lettering or issues with the minting die. These can increase the coin's value significantly, especially if verified by a grading service. If you believe you have a 1983 quarter with the Philadelphia Mint mark that appears to be in excellent condition or has a unique appearance, it may be worth having it professionally graded. Even though most are common, the right combination of preservation and rarity can turn a simple pocket find into a valuable collectible. Next up, the 1979 Washington quarter, specifically the one with the Denver Mint mark or D, and what it's worth today if you have one in worn, circulated condition. Let's start with a bit of background. The Washington quarter has been in circulation since 1932. By 1979, the design was well established, featuring George Washington's profile on the front, or obverse, and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. These quarters were minted primarily for daily transactions and made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver. It's important to clarify that because some people assume all old quarters are silver, but that stopped for regular circulation coins in 1964. The 1979D Washington quarter was struck at the Denver Mint. That's what the small d on the right side of the coin, under Washington's ponytail, indicates. That year, over 489 million of these coins were produced, making them very common in circulation. Now, let's talk about value. If you have a 1979D quarter in worn condition, which means it has visible wear from circulation, maybe some scratches or loss of detail, the value is usually just its face value, 25 cents. This is because of how common these coins are and the fact that they contain no precious metal like silver. That said, some collectors still look for coins with specific characteristics, like unusual errors or minting mistakes. For example, if your quarter has an off-center strike, a double die, or any other visible flaw that occurred during the minting process, that could increase its value. But for a typical worn 1979D quarter with no special errors, the value remains minimal, about 25 cents to, at most, $1 from a collector who might be looking to fill a spot in a circulated set. Now, if your coin is in better conditions, it has almost no wear and sharp details, it might be considered uncirculated or mint state. Those coins, especially if graded professionally by a service like PCGS or NGC, can sell for more. In those cases, values can range from a few dollars up to around $10 or even $20 depending on the grade. But again, that's for coins in near-perfect condition, not the typical worn ones most people find and change. So to sum it up, if you have a worn 1979D Washington quarter, its value in today's market is around 25 cents. Unless it has a rare error or is in exceptional condition, it's not worth more than face value. Next up, the 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark, specifically in damaged or worn condition, and explore what it's actually worth in today's coin market. The Washington quarter is a familiar piece of American coinage. first minted in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. By 1974, the quarter was no longer made of silver, but of a copper-nickel clad composition. That means any 1974 quarter you come across is not a silver coin, regardless of how shiny it might appear. Now, let's focus on a specific variation, the 1974 quarter with no mint mark. These were struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike quarters from Denver, which carry a D-mint mark, Philadelphia coins from that era typically bear no mint mark at all. This makes them very common, with hundreds of millions of them produced. When we're talking about coin value, there are several key factors that affect price: rarity, demand, condition, and whether there are any unique errors. Unfortunately, a 1974 quarter with no mint mark in damaged, heavily circulated, or poor condition is considered very common and does not have any numismatic premium in most cases. In the current market, a damaged or heavily worn 1974 no mint mark quarter is worth exactly its face value, 25 cents. That's because collectors typically seek coins in high-grade condition with sharp details, minimal wear, and original luster. A damaged quarter, whether it has scratches, bends, discoloration, or other signs of wear, is not something collectors would usually pay extra for. Even in slightly better circulated condition, like good or very good grade, these coins still tend to be worth only face value. In uncirculated or mint state condition, however, they can be worth more, sometimes up to a few dollars depending on the grade. But in damaged or poor condition, their value remains minimal. There are rare exceptions when error coins, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or clipped planchettes, can boost a coin's value. But for a standard 1974 Washington quarter without a mint mark and showing clear signs of damage or circulation, there's no added value beyond 25 cents. To summarize, if you have a 1974 quarter without a mint mark and it's in damaged condition, it's best considered spendable change. While it may not hold collector value, it's still a piece of American history, a reminder of everyday coinage from the 1970s. Next up, the 1984 Washington quarter dollar from the Philadelphia Mint, marked with a small p on the obverse side, is a coin that's still commonly found in circulation today. While these quarters were minted in large numbers and are not made of silver, there are a few things that can make them more valuable than just face value. Most 1984 P Washington quarters were struck in copper-nickel clad, not silver. Silver quarters stopped being made for circulation after 1964. So, if your 1984 quarter looks silver, it might just be a normal clad coin with some toning or surface wear. However, it's still worth checking the details. The majority of these quarters, in circulated condition, are worth around 25 cents to $1, depending on wear and eye appeal. In better condition, known as uncirculated or mint state, the value can go higher. If you have a 1984 P quarter in excellent condition, with little to no signs of wear, good luster, and sharp details, it might grade at MS65 or higher. In that condition, the coin could sell for about $5 to $10 on the collector market. A coin graded MS67 or higher can fetch significantly more. As of now, the highest grade examples, certified by major grading services, have sold at auction for over $100. There are no major errors or varieties commonly known for the 1984 P quarter, but any unusual features like double dies, off-center strikes, or other mint errors can increase value dramatically. Error coins are prized by collectors and their values vary based on rarity and condition. To sum it up, a regular 1984 Washington quarter with a P mint mark in good condition is worth slightly more than face value, typically under $1, but in mint state or with rare errors, it can be worth several dollars, and in exceptional cases, even over $100. Next up, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar, a coin that has sparked interest among collectors. Even in less than perfect condition, while many may overlook damaged or low-grade coins, certain features can still give them value depending on their rarity, metal content, and demand in the collector market. Let's dive into the history, composition, and current value of this specific coin. The 1966 Washington quarter was minted during a transitional period in U.S. coinage. Prior to 1965, quarters were struck in 90% silver. However, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint removed silver from circulating quarters starting in 1965. That means the 1966 quarter is made of a clad composition, specifically, a copper core with a nickel outer layer. Despite its silver-like appearance, it does not contain any actual silver. That's an important distinction because some collectors mistakenly assume the 1966 quarter has silver value. In reality, it does not. Another detail to note is that quarters minted in 1965 through 1967 do not carry a mint mark. That means whether a coin was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, There's no visible mint letter on the coin, so the lack of a mint mark on a 1966 quarter is normal and not a rare feature. Now, what about its value in today's market, especially in what's known as full damage or dot condition? Full damage typically refers to coins that are heavily worn, scratched, dented, or corroded. Dot condition might refer to marks or pitting that appear on the surface, either from environmental damage or poor storage. These conditions drastically lower a coin's collector value. For a 1966 quarter, in this level of damage, the coin holds no premium value above its face value of 25 cents. Most coin dealers would not pay more for it, and it's unlikely to attract buyers on resale platforms unless it has an extremely unusual error, which is rare. In average circulated condition, a 1966 quarter without any damage is still worth around 25 cents. Even in mint state condition, its value would only go up to about $1 to $3, depending on the grade and overall eye appeal. In high-grade condition, certified by professional grading services such as MS65 or higher, values can reach around $10 to $25, but for a fully damaged or pitted coin, especially without any unique error or anomaly, the value in today's market remains at face value. That means it's worth exactly $0.25, or 25 cents. To sum it up, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar, without a mint mark, is a common coin from a high mintage year with no silver content. In damaged condition, its value remains at face value. It's a good piece for circulation and educational purposes, but not a profitable item for resale. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. For more coin collecting content, see you in next time. Happy collecting!